Well, we are live once again, and I'm testing out my new microphone. I'm sitting here at the house, and I'm curious how it sounds for you guys. I tested it out on a quick video just to play back for myself, and as far as I could tell, it was pretty good. So anyway, we're going to be doing a live Q&A here. I'm sitting at the house. I just got my taxes done and all that kind of stuff. So tomorrow we will be going to the bank and trying to get a home loan. So what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Logan? What's going on, John? What's going on, L&J Radio? What's going on, Corey? Truck yeah. What's going on, Truck yeah? Did Prime send you the invoices for your loads? They do. Yes, they do. Now there is some debate as to whether or not those invoices are accurate or true, but they do send them to you. And I'm trying to figure out what this glare is. That's just, I think that's just on my screen. I'm not sure. Or it's from the window. Yeah, I don't know. I see that glare though. How are you guys doing tonight? Good luck with the home loan. I appreciate that. Great audio. How about that? Yeah, I bought this microphone on Amazon, and obviously I just got it because it got sent to the house. So I appreciate the thumbs up. This microphone was like 20 bucks, and it's got a six meter long cord on it. So the cord is, I mean, you've got this cord bundled up here still, but I've got all this 3, 4, 5. That's how long the cord is for this. So I should be able to do some pretty cool, interesting things with this. And I'm just using my phone, obviously. So we don't have the best signal here at the house, but as far as I can tell, the audio on this is really good. This also works for all my other cameras as well. So seen a badass shirt online for Trucker's Final Mile, did you? I don't know. I think people are getting tired of hearing about it, unfortunately. So I don't know. Obviously, I still support it. I've put a lot of my own money into that, and shared it in the Cupcake Gang and all that. So, you know, I hope that they continue to get support from you guys and all that. But you know, obviously the big push is going to be at GATS to raise as much money for them as possible. But I'm not going to really be asking for money at all anymore, charity or not. I talk about the charity. Those of you that want to donate to it, you're more than free to do that. But I keep getting a lot of negative feedback about talking about charities, even though the money doesn't go to me at all. So I don't know if it's just misunderstandings from people or what, but I don't know. Not something I'm going to talk about today. But please don't mention Final Mile. I've heard the name 5,000 times this last month. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody's heard about it. And, you know, they are a great cause and all that good stuff. But I think people are tired of hearing about it. So I'm not going to really discuss it any further. It's been fully discussed. So with that being said, the strawberry beer is actually really good, Ray. It's not awful. It's not a woman's beer or like Bud Light is, you know. Shots fired. But it's basically a regular Shiner. You've had regular Shiner, Ray. You've had regular Shiner. No, it's not bitter. I'm tired of hearing about it. What is also pathetic is I'm not even going to repeat that because I don't care. I was a little upset, just fired up the other day when I made my video talking about e-beggars and all that. And, you know, I'm not gonna... The heck? We never get planes flying over here. Jesus, I come in on a beer commercial. Yeah, man. Lady beer. Ray, you shut up, man. I'm gonna bring Michael out if you don't stop. I gotta find him, though. I don't know where he is. Where is Michael? Where is he hiding? I gotta find him. He's around here somewhere. I can bring out Michael again. Hey guys, I think I found him. He's hiding somewhere. I don't know where he's at. Where are you hiding, Michael?
I'm up here, man. What the fuck, Woody?
You gotta be kidding me. Oh.
Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey guys, it's Michael. What's going on, guys? Hey guys, it's Michael. Woo!
Anyway. Got you, Ray. Anyway, it's like regular Shiner. It has the same taste and flavor and strength as regular Shiner Bock does, with a hint of strawberry to it. So it's just a little... When Shiner makes a flavored beer, they don't start with that flavor. They start with their regular beer, and then they mix in the other natural flavors with like with the strawberry. And they're actually Texas-grown strawberries, so pretty good stuff. But yeah, I admit the packaging is probably marketed towards women, but it's actually a really good beer. So I'm not gonna say anything about it. Really bad live feed, awful. Good luck tomorrow. Are you attempting to get a conventional asset-based VA? I'm not sure yet. We're gonna see what they can offer us. Last time we went in, they had like a 3.2% 15-year fixed rate mortgage on $180,000. We're only asking for up to $100,000 because the property we're going to make an offer on is less than $70,000. We're not trying to get a huge place. We're just trying to get our very first home, and we don't have kids yet, so we're gonna grow into it. Even a $70,000 home down here is more than enough room for me and my wife. So I think Caitlyn Jenner is the spokesperson for strawberry beer. I don't know, man. Strawberry beer is pretty good. It goes along with the strawberry Rockstar energy drinks. Fixer upper? No. That's the thing. The places we're looking at are like $70,000, and they're not even fixer uppers. They've already been remodeled. So East Texas property is pretty cheap. Here and there, if you find a rural property that doesn't have a shitload of land, you can usually get it for pretty cheap. So this place that we're looking at obviously doesn't have a lot of land, but like I said, you know, we can grow into it, get the equity built up in it, and you know, once we get the equity built up in it, then we can pay it off or sell it and take the equity out and reinvest it in a bigger property. So you don't have to pay it off right away, you know. 10-4, Aaron, I appreciate that. Wow, that's cheap. How many rooms? It's 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom on like half an acre. So it's not bad. The kitchen and the living room's been completely redone. Now the bedrooms we might have to repaint and, you know, sand some drywall down, do some plastering and things like that, but it's not a big deal. I know how to do all of that. But you know, basically the goal is we'll buy a really low priced place and we'll pay it down, get some equity in it, and, you know, fix it up a little bit, make it a little nicer so it improves the property value a little bit. And then if we have a kid, you know, or we decide we need to move, either we can rent the place out or we can sell it, take the equity and take that equity and put it down on the new place that's bigger. So we're not looking into buying a $300,000 house as our first house. I always thought that was the dumbest shit in the world to do something like that. You lock yourself into a property for 30 years on a $300,000 property, and you don't even know if you're going to stay there forever. And so then when you decide you do need to move, you're stuck because you don't have any equity in the place because the property is overvalued, and now you've got this huge freaking house you got to take care of. With it just being me and her, having to take care of a huge house like that is insanity. Yeah, we probably could get a USD loan, but we're not even worried about the down payment. We've got more than enough money for a down payment. We've been saving the down payment for 5 years, and we've got more than enough for a down payment plus to furnish the entire house. So we're not worried about that whatsoever. So we're looking anywhere from 5 to 10,000 down. Not a big deal. If they require 20%, we can do that. Most likely we'll only end up having to put up to about 3 to 5% down, so it's not a big deal. But that's how I look at this stuff. It's taken us 5 plus almost 6 years to get to this point where we can actually purchase a property, and that's mainly because of the business stuff. When you start filing as an LLC, even as a sole proprietorship, when you start filing your taxes as a self-employed person, you reset the clock on getting a mortgage. Okay, no matter who you've worked for in the past or how good your credit is, because we've got perfect credit. We've got perfect credit right now. So what happens is, if you start off and you switch from being under a W-2 to going full on self-employed, you have to wait at least 2 years before you can even get any kind of home loan or building loan at all, any kind of mortgage. So I didn't know that going into it. I wish I had known that, but I don't know everything, so I learned the hard way. So the first 2 years we waited, and we had 2 years of profit, but then we didn't have enough for a down payment, right? Then 2014 we showed a loss, and that was rough because we bought the truck and we had a lot of breakdowns. So we showed a loss in 2014. So now that starts the 2-year process over again, right? So 2015 we had a good profit, and 2016 we actually showed a 300% growth from 2015. So 2015 we showed like 25,000. 2016 we showed over 70,000 in profits. So we had almost a 300% growth from 2015 to 2016. So we should have no problem getting whatever we want for a home loan. Like, we could probably get a $200,000 or more, $200,000 house or bigger if we really wanted to, but that's not, I don't want to put us in, I don't want to give us that much liability. It's too much liability. Our payments would be too high. And not that we couldn't afford those payments, it's just I don't want to have to be paying all my money going towards paying for a house. That's ridiculous, because I am still trying to grow the business. We're not just looking to live comfortably. We're looking to live huge. We want to get to the level where a $60,000 house, we could just write a check and it's paid for, right? So, or even a $300,000 house, we just write a check and it's paid for. That's the level I want to get to. And so our very first house is going to be something that's cheap. It's going to be something that's extremely affordable, because we don't want more than 25% of our income going towards house payments and insurance and property taxes and all that kind of stuff. So this is just to document my journey and how I do things, because you guys are going to watch. I'm just getting started in the journey of what I really want to accomplish. I've accomplished quite a bit already, but I mean, you guys are here for the ride along with me for the journey that I'm taking. And ultimately, I'm going to show you guys how I got to where I am going. And spell check. But I think of things strategically, and strategic planning. So it doesn't make sense for me to go buy a huge house or to even buy a huge car, because obviously we're going to have to buy the wife a car, which I figure $2,000 to $3,000. We'll go buy her a car, no problem. We'll buy a used car for cash, and I'll make sure it runs good and stays working for her so she can get to and from work and all that kind of stuff. But we'll end up buying her a car, and we'll buy the house. We're not going to spend a shitload of money. That's the problem what people have when they they want the fancy lifestyle, but they don't make enough money to afford it. I heard Michael has a loan for a $750,000 house. That sounds about right. She doesn't at the moment, but once we move, we're going to look for her for something to do. But it's not a big deal right now because we don't have a house payment yet. But once we get in the house, she's really excited to get to work and do something. So we'll get her something lined up. But as of right now, as I said, just last year we brought home over $72,000. So we had a really good year, and my gross wasn't that big. So we had a really good year. We didn't have truck payments, so our tax liability is a little higher, but that's okay. The higher your tax liability is, the more money you can get on a loan, right? That's basically what I was trying to say is if you try to reduce your tax bracket so much, well, you also reduce your equity bracket for trying to get a home loan. So if you cut your taxes so much to where you're not paying any taxes or you're getting a tax refund on the business, you can't grow the business because you can't get any loans. You can't get any equity in anything, right? So the smart thing to do if you're going to do strategic planning for the business, like if I want to go get loans and get, say I want to buy 3 new trucks from Freightliner, right? You can't do that. If you don't show a profit in the business, you can't do that. So you can't grow. You essentially shoot yourself in the face for growth if you try to cut your taxes, right? So I paid a 28.5% marginal tax rate this year, which is huge. I paid almost 30% in taxes, but I did that on purpose. It's worth it because I'm going to use the growth that I'm showing. I'm using that growth as leverage at the bank. When we take this paperwork to the bank and we show them what we did the past 2 years, they're gonna be like, all right, here's where your sign, here's your pre-approval, you're good to go. That's ultimately the goal, because I'm tired of fucking with these people, and if the numbers don't look right, they're not gonna give you anything. Well, the numbers look fucking awesome right now, so we're gonna go to the bank and just take it. That's ultimately the goal. So if you want to grow your business, don't focus on writing off everything. I mean, write off what you can, but you want to have a higher tax bracket, because the higher your tax bracket is, at least starting out, right? When you're in the beginning stages of the business, when you're trying to grow, you don't want to cut yourself like that. Okay. Now, obviously, once you grow the business to $1 billion business, yeah, you want to cut taxes as much as possible because you can finance yourself. You've got millions in the bank. Who gives a shit? You don't need the bank to grow. You grow off your own cash flow. Well, if you plan on using business credit to grow, you have to pay taxes. You want to raise your tax bracket for the business up so that you can get loans. Otherwise, you won't be able to get anything. And we had to learn that the hard way. And so in 2014, we showed a loss, which is great because we paid $0 in taxes. But, we paid nothing for taxes in 2014. But that also set us back for 2 more years being able to get a house. So 2014, 2015, we had a decent profit of about $30,000 after my salary and everything that after all deductions, we only showed $30,000 on our adjusted gross income. Obviously, we made more than that because you can find ways to hide the money, right? You can find deductions to hide the money. My point is, don't hide all the money, because if you hide all of the money, you're not going to be able to get a loan. You're not going to be able to get a mortgage. You're not going to be able to get new trucks. You're not going to be able to get anything. So you're going to have to 100% cash flow your own growth. And when you're starting out, that can take years. That could take you 10, 15 years to cash flow the growth like that. Otherwise, you can go get loans and grow the business, and then you have return on investment. You pay the loans back in double time, and just, now you're growing. So with that being said, it's kind of a rant, but I had to learn that, when it comes to business, borrowing money is not a bad thing. I had to learn that, borrowing money is not a bad thing, and you will not be able to borrow money unless you show profit on your taxes. If you don't show enough profit on your taxes, you're not going to be able to borrow money. Just flat out. The bank is not going to give you anything if you don't show profit, because they're going to look at your profit and loss statement and they're going to be like, wait a minute, you only showed $10,000 in profit. Why would we give you a $100,000 loan? They're not going to give it to you. But if you show $75,000 in profit, they're going to be like, hell yeah, you can sign right here. Huge difference. Now, obviously, you're going to pay taxes on that $75,000. That's why I filed as an S Corp. So the business, I pay taxes on $26,000 for the business, right? And the rest goes to me as salary. And that's after all expenses. Okay, that's after equipment, fuel, everything. So, and then on an S Corp as well, you have to show your assets at the end of the year. Of course, now I could zero out the business. I could zero it out, but then I'm not going to be able to get a loan. So you got to be smart. You got to play the balance game. And a few years from now, once it's a multi-million-dollar business, or at least $1 million a year business, then we'll start focusing on cutting our tax bracket, right? If we decide to do so. But when you're first starting out, especially if you decide to get an LLC, you decide to become an owner-operator, and you don't have a house yet, say you're living in an apartment or whatever, and one of your goals is to buy a house for your family, you do not want to cut your profit on your profit and loss statements for your business. You don't want to hide all your profit. If you hide all your profit, you will not be able to get a loan. And you have to be able to show good profit for 2 years, and you want to show growth as well. You don't want the same number every year, because that just shows the bank you're not growing. So we went from 2014, we went from a zero profit, we went from a loss in 2014 to 30,000 in 2015 to almost 75,000 in 2016. So from 2014 to 2016, we've had a huge growth on paper. That's what it looks like. That's the goal, to show them what I told them would happen back in 2014. I said, well, we showed a loss because we bought the truck. And they're like, well, so you're saying that should show growth? I'm like, it will show growth. And sure enough, we had $50,000 less gross revenue, but had $40,000 more profit. So we didn't even have the best year last year, but we still showed more profit. And at the end of the day, that helps us at the bank. So that's what you want to do. I have 2 houses, one I rent out, one I live in. So, well, there you go. Why an LLC over incorporating? You don't really need to incorporate unless you decide you want to sell equity to investors to get investor capital, right? Most people decide to go incorporated because they want to be able to take the company to an IPO in the future, or they want to be able to sell a piece of the business off. And you can do that through either membership certificates, or within an incorporation. Obviously, you're going to have a board of directors. You're going to have all that kind of stuff set up. If you have questions about how an incorporation is structured, you can go on LegalZoom and find all of that information. But ultimately, the main reason people go incorporated is because they plan on that business being a multi-million-dollar business, and they eventually want to sell off some of the equity in that business to investors so that they can grow. Right? You guys, I don't know if you guys watch Shark Tank at all, but they talk about that all the time. Okay, what's the first things they come in is they talk about how much equity they're going to give the Shark Tank people, the person in the shark, one of the sharks, how much equity they're going to give one of the sharks in order for how much money. So a lot of the companies will come in, they'll say, I'll give you 10% of the company for $250,000. Okay, they're valuing that company at $2.5 million. All right, and they have to show how many sales. They have to show, okay, we've had $1 million in sales this year. So that means our company is growing. Okay, 2 years ago we had 50,000 in sales, and now this year we've got $1 million in sales. It's showing them growth. It's showing that the company's growing. And see, they'll sell equity to somebody so that they will come in on the deal and work with the company. They'll come into the board of the directors of the company and help push the direction of the company in the way it should go so they can grow even larger. That's why people go on Shark Tank. It's not necessarily they need the money as bad as they need somebody to help direct the company to where it should go. A lot of people come in because they have a lot of debt on the company as well. That's something that's very bad. You don't really want debt on the company. So you want to have a minimal amount of debt and all that kind of stuff. But if you guys watch Shark Tank at all, you can see clips right here on YouTube of different deals that they've done. And just look at the good deals that they accept and the ones that they piss off and say, get the hell out of here. We're not going to, the ones that they say, I'm out, I'm not going to make a deal with you. You don't want to be those people. You want to be the people that get the deal, right? So you want to structure your company in a way that makes sense. If you decide in the future you want to be able to sell a piece of the business to get some money or to bring in a partner, then you would probably go incorporated. If you want to own 100% of the company forever, then just go as an LLC, sole proprietorship. That's a basic thing. I mean, it depends on what you want to do with the business. If it's going to be a multi-million-dollar or even $1 billion business, you're probably going to want to structure it as an INC. But, that's all stuff you have to talk to your attorney about or your CPA, because I can't give you legal advice. But I can answer that question as far as why would somebody go INC is because they believe that the business is going to be a multi-million-dollar business, and eventually they're going to have it structured that like it has a board of directors, a president, a vice president, CEO, all that kind of stuff. So, you can look that up, the different business structures right on LegalZoom. I want a duplex. That way I can build equity and have someone else pay the majority of my mortgage. Me personally, I mean, you can start off in that world, and a lot of people do make good money flipping single family homes or duplexes, but in my opinion, the real money is in multi-unit housing. 20, 30, 100, 1,000, 2,000 unit complexes. Instead of duplex, look at a complex. Look at an apartment building that you could go in and you can buy for $1 million that has 20 or 30 units, right? And then, as real estate prices come up, that property is worth more money, and it's all about location too. Like say you buy a 10 or a 50 unit property near Dallas, Texas, an area of Dallas that's being developed. They're building new infrastructure and new sales shops and malls and all that kind of stuff around there. Well, now you pick a piece of property. It's like, hey, let's build a huge condo tower here with 1,000 units in it, and let's make like $15 billion on it. That's where the real money's being made in real estate, is on multi-unit complexes. Now, can you make some decent money on a duplex? Sure, but you're not hitting millions or anything like that by any means. But you could certainly start there to get the experience of dealing in the real estate world. But me personally, instead of getting in on that, I'm probably just going to invest on somebody else's deal, because I don't have time to deal with real estate. I've got other things to do. Have a good night. Have some editing to do. Great feed. Appreciate it, guys. I was mainly just testing out my new microphone, and I'm going to go inside and, get back to my vacation. I just figured I'd let you guys know I am on vacation, and we got some big stuff going on. I got some videos to make. Obviously, we have the Ram McNally GPS. I got the Garmin in the mail. I'm going to do an unboxing video for that. And I'm going to do something a little special for this Ram McNally. I don't think it'll get there. I'm going to make sure it gets there via airmail, if you know what I mean. I'm the debate. I'm blowing that up. So stay tuned for that video. Stay tuned for the Garmin unboxing and review. Also stay tuned for the cupcake mail. I got to go to town tomorrow and pick up the mail from the P.O. box. And I've got a special challenge coming out for the Satan's Toe challenge. So stay tuned for all that. Other than that, you guys have a great night. It has been about 30 minutes, so we're going to get off of here. I got shit to do. Stay safe out there, and try not to die.